Good evening, distinguished Wizards fans. I'm Sully, and this is the Bullets to Wizards podcast. And today, it's just Sully. My co-host Raj is unfortunately sick today, so he's been out for a few days with like 101-degree fever. So let's all wish him well. Wish him well in the comments. Go tweet at him. I feel better soon. The podcast is not the same without him, but I'll do my best to carry the team while Raj is on the injured list. And I have a little theory. The day I'm recording this on March 3rd. Probably will get uploaded on March 4th. And March 3rd is Corey Kispert's birthday. So if you remember, about a week ago, Corey Kispert was on the injured list with a non-COVID illness. And look what Raj has now. He has a non-COVID illness. So he did test negative for COVID, so that's good. So I don't know, I have a theory. Maybe a week ago, Corey and Raj just wanted to pregame this whole birthday week, and Corey got a little bit sick, recovered first, and then Raj is now sick from partying it up with Corey, and now I'm missing my co-host. I'm just messing with y'all, but once again, all prayers to Raj. Bro is out. Bro has no voice. He's in pain. Send him love on all the social media. Send him soup on DoorDash. That'd be kind of creepy if you found out his address, but send Raj love. And yeah, today, regardless, we have a fun episode. Even just by myself. First, we're going to recap the Wizards' little LA road trip as they're on their West Coast swing. Two very different games in terms of entertainment and effort. So we'll go into the Lakers and Clippers. Both were losses, of course. We're not in 52-51. And after that, we're going to go over a few roster moves. They are a bit smaller. They concern Eugene Amaruli and Julian Champagnie getting full NBA contracts, being converted from their two-way contracts. So we'll go over it. It's not crazy, but we'll go over it. And then finally, to end the show, I'm going to be getting a little lonely on this episode. I'm not going to lie by myself. So I'm going to do a little thing called Wizards AI to help me close the show. I'll elaborate on it later when we get into it. But stay tuned. Be excited for that. It'll be fun. And yeah, this is going to be a great episode. But before we begin, let's say hi to the Wizards cat. At the end of last week, the Wizards did have a little trip to LA, very long flight, as you know, from Washington to LA, and on Thursday and Friday they played a back-to-back against the Lakers and Clippers. Both are very late games as well, especially for people on the East Coast time. It was 10:30 p.m. East Coast start time for both the games, so I don't know if the players are really people that sleep early. I know Victor Wembanyama on the Spurs sleeps early, and I'm sure Kobe slept earlier because he had that was Mamba mentality or something. All love to Kobe, rest in peace, but it was definitely, I would say playing a back-to-back on the opposite coast is definitely not easy for the team in the East. I mean, a lot of elite teams do it. It's not an excuse at all, but definitely a little bit of a far road trip for the Wizards right now. And on night one of the road trip against the Lakers, the Wizards came out swinging. That was a fun game. If that one, I hope all of you were able to stay up to watch that live, or at least checked out the highlights if you're early in the morning. That was legitimately, honestly, I might say that was the most fun game to watch this year. And obviously there's LeBron is a spectacle to watch, especially in his twilight. Could he get 40k points, which he didn't against us? There's stuff like that which makes the Lakers fun to watch. Yeah, AD's cool to watch, but even from the Wizards' perspective, everyone played hard. From start to finish to the overtime buzzer, this game went into OT. There was a lot of fight from this Wizards team. In part, I think a huge reason why the Wizards played so strongly in that game was just a good shot efficiency throughout the game. The Wizards shot a good percentage, and especially Jordan Poole, someone who we've become used to, the whole Jordan Poole experience. He's been a little bit more effective since coming off the bench, but still highly inefficient. Often you'll see him go 5 for 18, random games where he can't even eclipse 10 points. It's been a painful experience. The whole NBA is aware of the Jordan Poole experience. With some positives, but a lot more negatives. But this game against the Lakers, he was efficient. He did have a few 3 or 4 deep threes and contested layups and stuff that did make you go oh, you're going a little too hard for the heat check there, buddy. But overall, Poole was making shots, and definitely a big issue with him probably right now is definitely his confidence is shook. So if he takes 1 or 2 dumb shots and is effective the rest of the game, I'm all for it. If he's missing everything, that's a different story. But against the Lakers, it was just awesome to see the Jordan Poole. Honestly, I think a lot of people, the national media and Wizards fans, expected coming into this year. was the pull we saw against the Lakers. Everyone was like, oh, it's going to be like when Harden went from a sixth-man role in OKC to starting in Houston. Like, this is going to be Poole's breakout, extra opportunity to get out like Curry and Clay's shadow in Golden State and all that. And everyone had these really high expectations that he would at least probably average 25 to 30 points per game. It has not been a reality, but games like this give us hope. Even if he is the worst contract in the NBA right now, maybe with some work in the lab in the offseason, Poole could come back next year and maybe salvage. I think I don't know how much he wants to be in DC. I don't know, because sometimes it's like, does being in the bright lights of LA make Poole play well? It's not even just the whole like he likes baddies thing. It's like also, in part, just being movie stars and the whole atmosphere of LA. I mean, Crypto.com Arena is a much greater like venue and atmosphere and just aura than Capital One Arena. So I don't know if that motivated him, but yeah, it's like this team can be. Honestly, I'm not saying they'd be a good team even if Poole was effective, but they would. I think there'd be at least like a 25-win team or something crazy. Like I think legitimately, like at the end of that right now, but at the end of the season they'd finish with 25 wins. Where right now Wizards on track to probably be like a 12 to 15-win team right now. So legitimately having the void of Poole, especially because Poole's been playing so many minutes regardless of how bad he's been playing, it's just been a big part of where this team is right now. And just that Lakers game, and I think this is a lot about it. Like Denny played well, 15 points, 15 boards, awesome to see. Denny's becoming he's just continuing developing, being a multi-level player. Solid enough defense, especially with the LeBron and all those assignments he had tonight. And I mean, you had your usual Kuzma had a double-double. Didn't go off as much as you think he would against his old team, but still solid performance from Kuzma with his 20 points and 10 rebounds. Bagley had 23. It was just like the most like quiet 23 points, just getting these little hooks around Anthony Davis and making Davis look silly. Now, could Bagley guard Davis? Not necessarily, but there was a lot of solid efforts from a lot of people, but what really put this game in a competitive overtime contest was just Poole's great game, which is it's just a shame that either the trade value could have gone or just the vibe, just better vibes overall if Poole was just like this more every night. But regardless, really good effort top to down, the whole roster. No one really had a horrible, outstandingly horrible game or a horrible moment. Everyone played up to snuff, which was great. And honestly, this week, the Wizards, even up until overtime, until around like 3-ish minutes left in OT, the Wizards honestly felt like they were in control over time. They were up 3, and then they had a fast break steal, but then LeBron got the swat, and I feel like that swat was huge in overtime because the Wizards don't get blocked there in that fast break. They're up 5, which is pretty considerable with that much time left in the game. But then after that LeBron swat, the Wizards didn't score again for another few minutes. Lakers took the lead, and the Wizards had a chance up until the buzzer to tie it up and keep fighting. And toward the end, the Wizards were down 3 with about like 8 seconds left. And it was after a Brian Keefe timeout, and we're like, okay, Keefe, what are you gonna cook up here to help seal this game, or send this game? Well, not seal it, but send it to a second overtime. Prove to us you have a better play designs in your playbook than former coach Wes Unseld Jr. And the play was handed to Poole. Poole kind of just dribbled, and Poole just took a contested 3 from deep. It was deep. Like, there should have been more swings. There should have been more swing, or just even if Keefe is like, okay, you know what, Poole, you've had a great night tonight. You can take the final shot at least, or he could be like, but if this is a really bad look, like, backup plan, give it to an open Denny. It wasn't really that open, but it just felt like if Poole just dumped it off last second to, like, Denny or Kuz, even Tyus, like, something could have been created, but regardless, I guess the only bad thing, the last, like, 5 seconds of the game, just that weird final play call, is the only blight I could put on the Wizards' performance today, but overall, really solid performance, I guess, until those last few seconds. And I'm not going to lie, that this play call, this end of the game moment right here, like I said, it's hard to blame Keefe for the position he was put in this year, in the middle of the season with this kind of roster, but at the same time, moments like this kind of make me think of him as more of just the really temporary interim coach, just because the end of the game play call was not inspiring, and I think Keefe is a really inspiring voice. Awesome assistant coach to have, which he was for a long time for multiple teams. And as a head coach, maybe this is just a horrible opportunity being on the Wizards, but also I just feel like, I mean, West would not have done any better, but I just feel like Keefe could have done something more, just said some more. I'm not an expert on X's and O's myself, but just there just could have been some more screens, some more action, some just motion going on the inbound, and just that pull shot was just such a disheartening end to such a fun and competitive night. But 80 and 40 and 15, LeBron had 31. The Stars did their damage on us, but we contained the rest of the roster pretty well. Austin Reeves was really cold until the end of the game. Dinwiddie, our enemy, did nothing. Torian Prince, Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura didn't really do much throughout the game. So the Lakers supporting squad, the Stars were hard to contain, but at least everyone else on the team, the Wizards did a somewhat reasonable job of stopping. But overall, yeah, really good, just good, really from the effort standpoint, positive things, Denny, Kuz, everyone really did their usual, and just Poole just went above and beyond. But overall, really positive effort from the team. Love that. But then the next game wasn't the same. So the second night of the Wizards back-to-back, it was 10:30 p.m. on the next day, on Friday, March 1st. Yeah, it was once again in the same place, Crypto.com Arena, Wizards vs. Clippers. Even though the Clippers are moving out of Crypto.com Arena next season, it's one of the last two games still Clippers and Crypto.com Arena. And I don't know, I guess the Wizards were having too much fun in LA the night before, or it's just hard to keep up from the jet lag, perhaps. But the Wizards just came out flat-footed. All the positive things I could say about the effort from the Lakers game and the Clippers game, none of it was there. From the first quarter, I just letting people just get just losing matchups on defense, not really many fast break opportunities, not getting into lanes. It was just, they were and there's nothing spectacular the Clippers did against us either. It was just another one of those games where it's just, the talent gap is, regardless, even if the Wizards try, the talent gap is just too severe. PG had 22, Kawhi had 27, Hart had 28. The Clippers' big three did their usual thing. Even their supporting cast of Terrence Mann, Plumlee, Norman Powell, they all just did. None of them even played spectacularly either. It's just they did their usual role player roles, and that was enough to be the Wizards because they're all just, the talent gap from the Clippers' big three to just the Wizards is just immense. So yeah, there's not much more deeper you can go into that Clippers game beyond just effort and just sloppy play, turnovers, all the works, and of course the talent gap. So that's about it. Could have been a worse West Coast trip. The Lakers game was a huge saving grace, but for now, the lights were too bright. It's like that famous Jared Allen cooked us about a week and a half ago. But that famous Jared Allen quote where he said in the playoffs, the lights were too bright. Definitely the lights were too bright for the Wizards in this LA trip, and I don't want to finish the worst record. I'm sorry. The top three worst teams have the same lottery odds, and I don't see. I think we're not strong enough to worry about falling out of that top three worst teams at this point. But there was a point where we were below the Pistons in the standings. The Pistons did lose a few more games, so now we haven't won. But the Pistons, just because we win the tiebreaker against them, because we have won more games against them this year, so now we're not the worst team. We're back to the 14th seed because the Pistons kept losing. But so I don't want the honor of finishing with the worse record than the team that lost 28 games in a row. Nah. And also, this is very well going to be the worst Wizards season in history, just based on wins. So I don't want to finish the worst record anyway. That's all I ask. Keep losing. Let's tank for Alex Sarr, Zachary Visachet, Isaiah Collier, all of them. Keep taking, sure, but I want to finish the worst record, man. But yeah, looking ahead to the rest of the season, and as well as toward technically next year as well, the Wizards have signed Eugene Amarui and Justin Champagnie. Well, Eugene Amarui to a 2-year guaranteed NBA contract, so all likelihood is pointing to Amarui on the roster next year. Then Champagnie, now that Amarui's 2-way contract spot is gone, Champagnie got to occupy the new 2-way contract spot, and now that there's another open roster spot from Champagnie, who was on a 10-day contract, that opens up a new roster spot. And here comes R.J. Hampton on a 10-day contract, who has been playing with the Go-Go for a bit this year after a G League trade. And so yeah, a lot of just people filing into other people's old jobs, but I think all three parties, it was a pretty well-deserved promotion. And yeah, I don't know, the Wizards' future, is it any different? Not at all. There's like 0.0000001% of like a statistical difference now. The Wizards' like future of success with these roster moves, yeah, but it's positives. They're all locker room positives. Their play is definitely merited promotions. Amarui, every time he gets sent down to the G League for a few games, just tears it up with like a usual 20-point banger. And then on the Wizards roster, yeah, he's definitely not. I know I call him a very, very, very poor man's Giannis just based on his like skills and just like his finesse and all that. I know it's not the best comparison, but I've called him that in the past based on just his pure effort and hustle. And he's definitely not like he's not gonna fill the box score with points, but he'll fill the box score with a little bit of everything and just a lot of the intangibles. If you want to go like the Draymond Green praise route, or just the hustle, being shifty on defense. He ain't afraid of anyone. Like he wants to strip the ball from Jokic if he can. He wants to take on guarding LeBron if he can. That's Amarui for you right there. So definitely, you need an effort guy on every roster. Like coming off your bench, is Amarui going to be a starting caliber player? Probably not. But I legitimately see him as a piece that someone could grow into a solid like 20-minute per night player. The Wizards just could really use someone who's always trying out there, especially when some of the other star players in this or at least more established players of this team tend to check out a lot of these games, and Amarui doesn't do that. So yeah, love Amarui. Happy to see him get the promotion, and then Champagne, who slides into the two-way contract slot. It's good for the Go-Go because Champagne has been averaging 19 in the G League this year, so definitely a really strong player to keep the G League program afloat. And then also on the Wizards roster, he hasn't really done much in the NBA level with his previous teams or with the Wizards. Don't confuse him with the Spurs Champagne, by the way. The Champagne on the Spurs is the one that's a bit more notable. And when Champagne first got the 10-day contract with the Wizards, me and my co-host Raj got a little confused. Like, oh my god, this is kind of interesting to sign up to a 10-day contract. But then we realized, no, the Spurs Champagne has a twin brother who's now been signed by the Wizards, who hasn't done as much in the NBA. But in the few garbage time minutes that Champagne has played on this 10-day contract with the Wizards, the effort was there. He was nice at driving into the rim. That's all I can really say. He had like 6 or 7 points in one of the games he played, so definitely like not enough to have really any kind of expectations for Champagne. But for a two-way roster spot, he's a decent enough sized forward. He's not a big man, which is once again like this team would just be less painful to watch if we have another big man out there again. I know Trader Gaffer and all that. Bagley's fine, but it's just like it doesn't really feel a roster near at all. But with a two-way roster spot, you can't get that picky. And sure, as an asset, I don't mind Champagne. I'm happy to see him get a two-way. And then now in the 10-day contract slot is R.J. Hampton, and R.J. Hampton was a former first-round pick by the Orlando Magic, who's just the Magic just drafting a lot of guards in the years consequent that outplayed him, then bringing in Markelle Fultz, and then it caused just Hampton to bounce around a little bit from a few teams in the league, a few G League programs, and then the Wizards acquiring from the G League program. And once again, we especially don't need to guard him. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it's definitely, I wouldn't say guard is the most, there's not a lot of open minutes at guard right now, because Johnny's starting to get minutes for better or worse. Those Johnny LA games were painful, but Johnny is getting minutes now. Poole will always get minutes. Tyus will always get minutes, and it's just, sure, Hampton, are you gonna get any action? Like, I just don't believe he's bottom. I know that Keith and West haven't been that keen on playing these 10-day contract guys, but I believe when a team this bad should be playing all their 10-day contract guys significant minutes, just to find a dime in the rough. Because that's a lot of other better teams, like when the Heat were bad for 1 or 2 years before becoming immediately a playoff team again. They found diamonds in the rough through 10-day contracts and G Leaguers, and the Wizards just needed, I'm not saying we have to be Pat Riley Heat levels good, but just we need to be focusing a lot more on finding these diamonds instead of just banking on like these first round picks in the future, which is good, but you need to find a little late round or forgotten surprise that's been discarded by the league. And it's just, I don't see Hampton getting enough minutes to make that happen. And I'm done with talking about R.J. Hampton a lot, but you know, it's a little interesting. Someone who was drafted in the first round a few years ago, if they can now, oh wow, they're on our roster and they're still young-ish. So, but yeah, we'll see. Those are the new moves. Congrats Eugene. Congrats Champagne. Welcome R.J. Hampton. At the very least, another guy. If it doesn't work out, he's gonna keep playing well for the Go-Go. So, and also, I mean, he could technically, I guess, to steal somehow Johnny's minutes and to do what DeLon used to do, but that's all wishful thinking. So, yeah, it's a pretty good on this podcast. See, this is where you can only really get this on a Wizards podcast, and that's why it's really fun to listen to team-specific podcasts. Not just us Bullets to Wizards, but also even if you want to listen to Locked On Wizards or Believe in Wizards, or Wizards of Gallery Place, any of the other popular Wizards podcasts, you can listen to them. I like listening to them too. I mean, obviously listen to us first, but at the same time, like I said, if you listen to like an ESPN podcast, or even like No Dunks or one of the other Athletics great podcasts that are fun to watch and listen to, I mean, they do their best to cover as many teams as possible, but you're just not going to get that detail. Like, those podcasts, Bill Simmons is never going to talk about Eugene Amarui getting a full NBA contract unless it's for the Celtics, and even then he might not. And it's just, yeah, you're only going to hear about that, especially this honest, smart fans. That makes me sound really narcissistic, but you hope you all get me. A friendly, knowledgeable fan. His perspective, I treat you all of you as smart equals to me, but at the same time, you know what I mean. Just this thing gets a little bit silly when you're by yourself, especially in a room while you're by your own, no co-host. I don't have Raj to keep me tamed here, but regardless, yeah, you will only hear about Champagne getting a 2-way contract on a more niche Wizards podcast like this, and especially for the NBA who considers the Wizards to have a lot less fans. I believe there's a fair number of us there. Just some of us have been a bit quiet since the John Wall years, but we can get loud, Capital One. We can get loud online, and yeah, but it's just there's not many resources for us to get the real sicko takes. It's not like New York and LA media where their radio shows will engage in every like little rumor the team has. Like 106.7 The Fan in DC, they're not talking about Amarui either. So yeah, you only get that here. So, but I think I've talked enough about Hampton and all that for the smaller roster moves. Now it's time to start a new little invention of mine.
Welcome to Bullets to Wizards AI Player Discovery.
And here we are, old friend, back to this maybe very familiar page for some of you. This ChatGPT 3.5. What a lovely fellow. Why is Grammarly on my screen? Get out of here. But, so here's how this Wizards AI segment is going to work. So today we're going to be using AI to name a player. Name a really random Wizards player. I'm going to want it to be as random as possible. If the player is someone I really recognize or is on the roster right now, I would definitely tell GPT, give me another player, but we're going to see what GPT gives us, and based on who it is, if it's really random, we're going to do a little deep dive through the Wikipedias and the basketball references and the stat muses to learn more about this player. Give a little random former Wizard a highlight, but yeah, let's just check it out. So, hi, Chat GPT, love AI, so could you name me a really random Wizards player? Probably ignore the typing. Yes, we're gonna ask GPT once again to name us a random player. We'll see what we get, and then we'll do a deep investigation on their career. Okay, hold on. Let me type this more correct. All right, I'm gonna play the excuse for my bad typing there that I have a really cramped desk setup right now, and my laptop kind of covers the bottom of the monitor screen, and I can't raise my monitor any higher because my bed is right above me. So I'm gonna put the blame on that as my excuse for my bad typing. But now I've typed it out properly. Let's see what player GPT gives us to do an investigation on. Kwame Brown, we all know Kwame Brown. Horrendous first-round pick. He had a long-ish NBA career as a journeyman, but definitely nowhere near the first overall pick expectations. He was a draft pick to Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan honestly bullied him and made him lose his confidence. And yeah, Kwame Brown, if you're a Wizards fan or NBA fan, you probably know who he is, so we're definitely not going to do a deep investigation on him, but let's ask ChatGPT to name us someone else. Name me another. There we go, I typed that rightly. Caron Butler, we all know him. He was pushed so heavily on the Wizards promotions for the 25th year anniversary of the Wizards name. Like, nah. He was part of the fake Big Three that we tried to market between Jameson and Butler and Arenas. Fun to watch. Love his time in DC as a just look. I didn't grow up in that era, but just from an outsider's perspective, love what he did for the franchise. But once again, not random enough. Name me a really random former Wizard. No! Mershon, he's 7'7". Everyone knows who Mershon is. Actually, in the DC community, there's been so many, like, in the DC community, George Mershon basketball camps and stuff for kids. Once again, also to see what he's done for the community. But that ain't random. Especially, you play 2K, you just any kind of NBA historian. No, Mershon is not random. Another random player. ChatGPT is not enough of a basketball sicko like we are. Walt Dixon, okay. Yeah, that's a much better candidate. Okay, now I just had an aha moment. Like, I'm getting a lot more into college basketball. Still definitely not an expert, but yeah, I recognize Walt Dixon. I look at like best players in the 2000s lists and all that. Looking at highlights, like I definitely pay attention to schools like UMD, and just East Coast schools that are close to me on how their basketball history and all their lore and all that. Yeah, this guy Walt Dixon, he averaged 16 points in his 4-year career at Maryland. And yeah, he was part of the Maryland Natty team, which won in 2002. So, yeah, Juan Dixon. I think it's just an age attack. It's an attack that I'm younger, but no, yeah. Now I definitely recognize it. Like I was in the middle of looking at him, and just once I saw UMD, I was like, oh, this guy. Okay, so yeah, what an insightful discovery. Like I'm not gonna forget the name Juan Dixon now. So I appreciate it. Took GPT a few tries to give me a good player, but it gave me Juan Dixon, and now I'm happy to have a refresher on, yeah, the fairly, maybe not notable NBA career, but notable college basketball career he had. And yeah, it's cool. I guess he was a little solid backup journeyman guard for the Wizards for a bit. And then also, fun fact, I looked into it as well. He was a head coach for Copan State, which is a school in Maryland. I've driven past it before, and I mean, it's a fine little HBCU campus. It's cool. And he was the coach for them for a while. He was let go as their coach, but he definitely did. He likes staying local to Maryland and the Virginia DC area. So yeah, that's Juan Dixon. I hope you all learned. Get yourselves a Juan Dixon jersey, or just tell when people ask you why do you have a Juan Dixon jersey, tell them the Bullets and Wizards podcast is why you have one. And yeah, that was just a fun little mini segment goofing off with AI right there, just to pass the time and keep myself company while I'm by myself. And this podcast is still really fun to do by myself, but man, one, my lungs and just my creativity, my funny bone, needs a little bit of a rest after doing this whole show by myself today. And also, yeah, I just missed the company of the insight, the humor of Raj. The show is definitely not the same without him, so come back soon, Raj. Recover well. But yeah, I still had a lot of fun doing this episode by myself. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And definitely still a lot of fun things planned coming up. And yeah, so I mean, the Wizards are going to continue their West Coast swing. They play the Jazz on the day this episode is uploaded. They will be playing the Jazz at 9 p.m. So at least not as horrible as the 10:30 start time games, especially considering it's a weekday. If you're not I know some people do sleep at 9 p.m., but if you're the kind of person who sleeps like me, I usually sleep between 12 and 1. You should be able to squeeze that game in before your bedtime, and it's not really a winnable game. Like, I don't see us containing Lowry Markkanen or any of that. And I think John Collins and Walker Kessler will have their way with us. But I think, will be more competitive than a lot of the future games on our schedule. Especially the Wizards bring effort. There is a chance we could, I think any win at this point we get that isn't against the Pistons or Spurs is a shocker at this point. But there is, I think, somewhat of opportunity for a win there if we just play like how we did against LA. Well, LA Lakers, not the LA Clippers, but I mean, the Jazz are a playing team, we're not, but I just want to believe, man. Like, come on, against like a mid, for lack of a better term, really fun young team, but still a mid team overall. Like, I just want to, like, we're gonna win at least 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 5 more games before the year ends. That's a bit ambitious, but we gotta win some. So how about that? Why not this game tonight against the Jazz? Let's hope for that. In the next episode, we'll definitely go over that Jazz game and a few of the other games in the upcoming week. But hopefully my co-host will be back for the next episode. But even if not, I'll do my best to get this out there for you all. Like I said before, with some other new fun segments beyond that little silly AI thing I did. And yeah, we'll have recaps of games, and I'm repeating myself. I'm being too much by myself. I need a co-star. I feel like Kyle Kuzma when Jordan Poole's not playing well. I feel like Bradley Beal, the way he had the bear after John Wall left, and so yeah, I'm gonna end this episode shortly here just to avoid me making a Jordan Poole silly moment right here. But yeah, I guess, happy birthday to Corey Kispert yesterday. Happy birthday to former Wizard Jason Smith, the mid-range god. Yeah, come on the podcast, Jason. You know you want to, but happy birthday to those former Wizards. Happy birthday to you if it was your birthday. But yeah, as always, love you guys. This is so much fun to do. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode, hopefully with Raj back. Alright, keep shooting those DC threes.